Now let us move on to the third stanza. Save that from yonder ivy-mantled tower, the moping owl does to the moon complain of such as wandering near her secret bower, molest her ancient solitary reign. So in the third stanza, we find that the sound of an owl hooting intrudes upon the evening scene. Everything is quiet, everywhere there is silence. Only the sound of the beetle which is flying, and the sound of that owl which is hooting. We are told by the speaker that the owl is complaining. Actually, it is expressing sorrow. Moping means, in the ordinary sense, it means to whine or grumble, but here it means to complain or to express sorrow. So the owl's call is suggestive of grief. However, in these three opening stanzas, Gray does not directly refer to death or to a funeral. Rather, he indirectly creates a funereal atmosphere by describing just a few mournful sounds. And the owl is actually residing, it is staying in a tower which is very old, ivy mantled, means ivy which is a kind of a creeper. It has covered the tower, and it is as if complaining to the moon about people who are perhaps moving around, or they are trying to enter the tower, and thus they are trying to disturb her. Molest here means to disturb her ancient solitary reign. Beneath those rugged elms that yew trees shade, where heaves the turf in many a mouldering heap, each in his narrow cell forever laid, the rude forefathers of the hamlet sleep. So now we find in the fourth stanza the hamlet's churchyard is described, and as it is at one with objects of nature, and they are pointed out. For example, the rugged elms, the yew tree providing the necessary shade, and the churchyard has near it the mouldering heap of turf. So the rude ancestors of the village, rude here means actually they are the rude forefathers, they are illiterate, they are not learned, and they have been buried in this simple churchyard which is full of these various objects of nature. So the forefathers are described as they are referred to respectfully as sleeping in their narrow cells. And in the fourth stanza, the speaker now directly draws our attention to the graves in the country churchyard. We are presented with two potentially conflicting images of death. And in line 14, we find the heaps of earth surrounding the graves. So in order to dig a grave, the earth must necessarily be disrupted. So Gray has inverted the word order. Just as the earth has been disrupted, the syntax of the line imitates the way in which the earth has been disrupted. So instead of where the turf heaves, Gray writes where heaves the turf. So the rude forefathers who are buried beneath the earth seem entirely at peace. And we are told that they are laid in cells, a term which reminds us of the quiet of a monastery, and that they are sleeping peacefully. So for the first time in the fourth stanza, we have the reference to the rude forefathers who are dead and who are buried in this country churchyard.